We're not. We're seeing a strong marketplace. We're predicting an $8.1 trillion market over the next 10 years. We think the world's going to need close to 43,000 new airplanes over the next 20 years. That's an increase in our estimate. You'll see more details rolling out on that this year. 6 to 7% traffic growth around the world. Freight is returning in strength. This is moving from what in the past has been a highly cyclical market to a long-term sustained growth market.
Which brings up the question. We were just talking with David Joyce, the CEO of GE Aviation, and he said, look, the whole ecosystem, if you will, the supply chain globally, it needs to move faster to expand. Would you agree?
It does. We're ramping up our supply chain around the globe, and we're taking commercial airplane production up over 800 aircraft this year, so we'll break the 800 mark for the first time. By the end of the decade, we're going to be building more than 900 aircraft per year. We got to bring the whole supply chain along. And that's not just our Tier 1 suppliers, it's the Tier 2 and 3 suppliers.
They need to invest more in their expansion.
You got it. It's about talent and people, it's about capital investment, infrastructure, and then successfully ramping that ecosystem up together. It's really important that we have an integrated supply chain, so we're working all of the elements of that to make sure we can create our production capacity.
You know that the one concern that is out there, the big concern that's out there for this industry is trade tensions, and whether or not that either prompts some airlines or some customers to say, I'm going to cool it on my orders, or potentially shift orders, whether it's from you guys to Airbus or Airbus to you guys, whatever it might be. Are you worried about the fact that this continues to simmer and that we're not sure of where it's going to go?
Well, we are concerned. It's clear that the aerospace marketplace thrives on free and open trade around the world. And we're concerned about some of the talk of tariffs and trade restrictions. We're hopeful we'll find alternative solutions. We know that aerospace is good for economies around the world. So you take a look at the U.S.-China trade relationship, for example. Aerospace is great for growing the economy in China and creating the lift that they need. It's also U.S. manufacturing jobs, and it's creating economic growth here in the U.S.
As another plane leaves. Along those lines, we've heard from some airline CEOs who have said, look, while this is primarily a trade dispute about manufacturing in different sectors, whatever it might be, they're worried that this starts to hurt demand in terms of travel between continents. Are you getting any sense in the industry that that's a possibility?
Yeah, we haven't seen any pullback there, but that is the broader concern, because we know aerospace thrives in this broad global ecosystem. And the fact that the world is globally connected and frankly enabled by aerospace, whether it's travel of people or movement of goods around the world, it's really important that we have that healthy trade connection and free and open channels throughout the world. As aerospace grows, it grows jobs around the world. It's one of those things that creates real win-win solutions across countries.
President Trump is in Helsinki today. He's talking with Vladimir Putin, and the topic of defense spending is getting a fair amount of chatter here at the show today. You used to run the defense division at Boeing. How does this market right now compare to where we've seen over the last 5 to 10 years? Do you expect to see greater growth in that area as far as budgets being allocated in that area?
Yeah, we're seeing an upswing in the defense market, not only in strengthening of the U.S. defense budget, but also in our allies around the world. About a third of our defense business today is outside of the U.S., so that's a continuing growing segment for us. But we're seeing strength in the defense market writ large, and it spans our rotorcraft lines, satellites, fighter aircraft, commercial derivatives, tankers, mobility assets. And I think as you see the growing commercial industry around the world, the fact that defense is growing at the same time, at Boeing we see a lot of synergy between the two.
We had a chance to go on an Embraer flight yesterday, the E190-E2, the Profit Hunter. This is the first chance we've had to talk to you since you have announced the joint venture with Embraer. How important is this for being able to expand the product line so that when you go to a customer, you can say, look, we now have an offering for you on that 100 to 140 seat area all the way up through the largest airplanes?
Yeah, this is an important move for us, and we've been collaborating with Embraer for a couple of decades, so it's a company we know well. We have a lot of mutual respect for each other, and our strategic partnership will grow our product and services lines, allow us to create new value for customers, offer them broader fleet solutions. We also have collaboration on the defense side of the business, growing our services business around the world, and good alignment on our culture and talent as well, and a lot of respect for the team.
That lower end of that market, and I say lower end in terms of size of the airplane, that 100 to 140 seat, do you look at that as sort of a little a little nugget that needs to be grown because you have these smaller, medium-sized markets now saying we want point-to-point connections?
Yeah, we're seeing that proliferate more and more. So that regional marketplace will become more and more important in the future. The fact that we can combine that with our existing fleets, the combination of the E2 platform and our MAX platform, they fit together very nicely. That offers different solutions for customers. But we're seeing this point-to-point traffic grow around the world. And this is part of that transformation I talked about. We've gone from a hub and spoke world to a globally connected point-to-point world.
Last question, hypersonic jet. You showed the rendering, and as soon as you get off the plane at Heathrow, you cannot miss the ad as you're walking towards the main point of departure, if you will, or point of entry into the country. Where do we stand in terms of how quickly we see some of the development work take place on that?
The technology is moving quickly, and we're investing in Mach 5 aircraft technology, propulsion technology associated with that. The concept airplane that you saw is maturing quickly. We've done some flight testing of the X-51 to prove out some of those technologies. I think the bigger hurdle will be the business case, the economic case to bring that kind of product to the market. But when we look to the future, we see a future that includes ever more efficient subsonic jets, but also the introduction of high-speed hypersonic jets. And imagine a future world where you can connect any two cities in 2 hours. That's where we're headed.
Hey everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe.